Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden held their second and, as it turns out, their last debate on Thursday night. And guess what? A serious substantive conversation actually broke out. It was almost normal without all the histrionics of that first debate.
This is radical left.
Will you shut up, man?
Listen, who is on your list, Joe?
That was largely because of, and I think to the benefit of, President Trump. His hectoring and interrupting style in the first debate was not a good look for him, and in fact, he dropped in the polls afterwards. He chose a different tack this time.
President Trump, I think we have to respond, if I might.
Please, and then I have a follow-up.
Thank you, and I appreciate that.
And I think the question as a result is, what are the issues and themes that will resonate through the last week and a half or so of campaigning that remains before the election? Well, I think there are four of them.
We're about to go into a dark winter, and he has no clear plan. And there's no
First, you saw Joe Biden continue to hammer away on the coronavirus by saying we have difficult times bringing the coronavirus under control because President Trump has handled it so badly.
He did virtually nothing, and then he gets out of the hospital and he talks about don't worry, it's all going to be over soon. Come on, there's not another serious scientist in the world who thinks it's going to be over soon.
President Trump, your reaction?
I say over soon. I say we're learning to live with it. We have no choice. We can't lock ourselves up in a basement like Joe does.
This time he also said we can fight the coronavirus better without shutting down our economy, thereby trying to rebut one of the Republican charges on that front.
We ought to be able to walk and chew gum at the same time. We ought to be able to safely open.
Second, President Trump jumped quickly and hard on Joe Biden for saying that it's time for the country to transition away from the oil industry.
Because basically what he's saying is he is going to destroy the oil industry. Okay. Will you remember that, Texas? Will you remember that, Pennsylvania, Oklahoma?
Vice President Biden, let me give you 10 seconds to respond,
Ohio?
and then I have to get to the final question. Vice President Biden.
He takes everything out of context, but the point is, look, we have to move toward a net zero emissions.
The president saying that extreme climate change policies from Democrats will debilitate the economy, will hurt jobs, will hurt livelihoods, and cost people around the country. That's something you're going to hear more in the closing days of the campaign as well.
He was there for 47 years.
Third, you also saw President Trump hit away on what has become a favorite theme, which is that Joe Biden has been a politician in Washington for more than 4 decades. He had all that time to do what he's promising to do now. Why hasn't he done it before now?
Now you're saying you're going to get it done because you're all talk and no action, Jim.
We got a lot of it done.
That's a theme, the professional politician Joe Biden versus the outsider Donald Trump, even though he's the incumbent president. That will be a popular one in the final days of the campaign.
I ran because of Barack Obama, because you did a poor job. If I thought you did a good job, I would have never run.
And finally, you also heard Joe Biden say, essentially, I'm going to be the president of all Americans, not just the Americans who vote for me, that he can be a president and a man who unifies the country that Donald Trump has so divided.
I'm running as a proud Democrat, but I'm going to be an American president. I don't see red states and blue states. What I see is American, United States.
So politically, of course, does any of this move the needle in the campaign, particularly a campaign when 47 million Americans had already voted early before the debate even took place? Well, I think both candidates probably moved the needle in the margins, maybe a little bit, but mostly I think it was the kind of debate that reinforced what most Americans already think of these two candidates.